Oh, hi. My name is Ram Posham. I'm an executive architect with Oracle for many years. Recently, I was involved in a database sharding project at one of our large customers, financial customer, and I thought I will create a quick demo uh, and share with customers. So I'm going to create a separate presentation on on the sharding overview, but today I will just focus on the demo. All right, and so let me just show you what the demo is all about. So here is the demo. So this demo is available on Oracle Live Labs. So I'm going to share this deck. So if I click here, it is going to take me to Live Labs. So this is the demo. In fact, you can go to Live Labs and then search for sharding, database sharding, and you will hit this one. All right. If you search for Oracle Live Labs and search for sharding here, you will see that, for example, if I say sharding. So that's this is the one I'm talking about, and it takes about 4 hours, but actually what I did is I created some scripts to make this demo much faster. So that's what I'm going to show you. So if you do this, if you got your own cloud tenancy, you can do this. And initially it talks about this workshop, and then let me just show you this. Set up the environment. So what you do is in this one, right? In the setting up the environment, you need to download this Terraform script. Okay, so you download this and then go to cloud.oracle.com, if you, assuming you got tenancy. So there you log in, and after that, what you do is you go to stacks, just search for stack, and then you can say, I want to create a stack, and it's a zip file, and you can drag and drop this particular file. All right, so if you know where this is downloaded, show in the folder. Also, you just drop it here, and then you go to next. Then it will ask you, to tell you that it's going to be using a shape, VM shape 2.4. It's a Gen 2 VM 4 CPUs, and it's going to create 3 shards with 1 OCPU each. And for accessing all these things, you need a key, a public key, and you can paste the public key string here. And to create the public private key, it's very easy actually. If you use GitHub, Git bash, you can say SSH keygen -t RSA -file, you can say sharding, something like that. So you say no, that's nice. So where are we? We are here. That's sharding. So this is the one. This is the public key. So if you say cat sharding.pub, so that's what this one is. All right. So that you just copy. So you create your own public key and private key. You'll be needing this private key at a later time to access those VMs. All right. So that I'm not going to go through that, but here is the thing. I have already followed that step, and ran that one. So after that, actually, let me just quickly do that, right? So let me just copy this, and paste it here, actually. And then you say next, and then you just say run apply, all right? And then when you check run apply and create, it's going to create all the required VMs. So I'm not going to do that because I already did that. It takes a couple of minutes. So if I go here into my other environment, so let me show you that. So after I ran that script, I go to compute, and here are the instances. All right. So these are the instances. So there are 4 VMs: Kata, Shard1, Shard2, and Shard3. And catalog has, this is the public IP, this is the private IP. So what I'm going to do is during the next few minutes, so this is, it is going to create 4 VMs, catalog VM, and the 3 shards. Basically, these are all 4 VMs. Each has got its own container database, 19C database, all right? So then during the lab, I'm going to install global data services, actually global services manager, GSM software. I'm going to install on this, and I'm going to create what's called a shard catalog in this one, all right? Then in this particular VM, we are going to create a pluggable database. In this container database, there is already a pluggable database, but we are going to create a pluggable database called NSPDB, that is non-sharded PDB. And then within that, we are going to run an application that's going to create a schema and populate the data. All right, that's what it's going to do. And after that, we are going to export the data into a dump file. And we copy this dump file to these machines. All right. And then we are going to run an import command from this host. All right. That's what we are going to do. And when we run an import command, what this is going to do is it's going to import the data into this sharded databases. All right. This is essentially, this is a consistent hash sharding. All right. I explained what consistent hashing is in the presentation, but for now, what it's going to do is when you run the import here, it's going to actually run the import on this one and as well as on this one. And it's going to import the data that belongs to this shard, and it's going to import the data that belongs to this shard. So in other words, this import program is shard aware. So it's not going to import all the data that is sitting in the dump file. It's going to import what is that belongs to this particular shard and so on. All right. Then in the next step, what we are going to do is we are going to run this program, and it's going to populate additional data into these sharded databases. All right. So after the import is completed, we are going to run this. Then after that, what we're going to do is we are going to add a new shard here. Right. While this is running, we can add a new shard, and we can continue to run the program. So this is just to show you that we can scale this sharded databases horizontally. So as you need more and more shards, you can just keep on adding the additional shards. So the data basically gets distributed across all these shard databases. So that's the demo that we are going to do. All right. So what I did is I'm going to share this script also in my notes section. So here, look at this. So here I have the public IP address. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And then this is the private IP for that host. So paste it here. And then we'll go to shard1 very quickly. Here is the, see. And this one, what is the private IP? Private IP is 254. So not this one. Just changed it to 254. Then this is the shard2. This is the public IP. Sit here. And what is the private IP? Is 92, 10.01.92. So just change this to 92. And shard 3 is here with a 1 and then 201. So let's change this to 201. So that's the first thing. Then in this spreadsheet, I have the location for my private key. You remember we created 2 keys, so I have my own private keys and public keys. So that's what I'm using. Now, there are a bunch of steps that you need to do. First thing is you need to open the ports on these VMs, right? So that they can communicate with each other. So just to make the demo faster, what you can do is you can just copy this and just paste it here. So first thing what it is doing is it is actually opening a SSH session onto that particular catalog VM. So you have this, right? You have you open the Git bash window. Then you just copy this just to show you this one more time. So maybe I'll just copy this one and paste it here. So it creates the SSH window. Then I can just run the script, all right? Run the script. It's going to run all these commands as Oracle user. So see that? So that's what this one is. So I opened the ports, required ports on this catalog host. Then I'm going to do the same thing on shard 1. So that's what this one is. All right, did it work? Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that was done on shard 1. You can see that. And by the way, if you're wondering where I got this IP address, basically I do some trick here. So this IP address is copied from here, shard 1. See this? SSH public IP is 222. So that's what you see here, all right? Then again, when you look at the spreadsheet, you will understand what I'm talking about. So open the ports and shard 2, this. And then you go to shard 3. Okay. Then the next step is you go back to catalog and install the Global Services Manager software. That Global Services Software Manager lets you run something called GDS CTL, Global Data Services Control. So that's the one which helps you create sharded schemas and so on. So let us, again, I would strongly recommend you to go through the lab, understand that. But when you want to really run the steps, you can use these scripts because this is just going to speed up. And this is customized. You just update the IP addresses and all the commands are generated for you automatically. So that's what's going to save you time. So what we are doing is we are creating the Oracle Home. Then here we are actually downloading the GSM software, and we are actually installing using the installer. So that's what we are doing in this step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this whole thing until here. So wherever you see this color box, you just copy the entire script and put it into the here. Okay. So I have another window here. I can just close this. Okay, paste this. So see that one of the steps is to download this GSM software. That's what it's doing. And after that, it's going to actually run the installer. So it's going to take another 1 or 2 minutes. Now it's going to be installing the software. Now, while we are watching this video, you can probably fast forward and you don't have to just look at the screen. So it's 13% completed. It's going to take another few seconds anyway. And while that is going on, then the next thing is we are going to run that root.sh. Whenever you install Oracle software, you have to run that root.sh. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be ready with that. Okay, that command. So that's the last step, linking. Very good. So that's completed. So now what you do is you run that root.sh. Paste it here. And that's it. So completed. Did complete that. Yeah. So that completed the step. So it says, look at this for the log file. So if you want to see that log file, you can do that. Oh, this is owned by user Oracle. Okay, yeah. So I can do that actually sudo su minus Oracle. So is that. Okay. Okay, so sudo cat this one. This should work. Yeah, so that finished the actual row.sh. All right. So anyway, that was not very important, but anyway. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit actually from that. No. No, we are actually on the same host. So let's see whether the database is up and running on this See, so there is a catalog database, and within that there is a PDB called cata PDB. All right, so that's up. Then the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to actually create the shard catalog. So these are the commands for the shard catalog. So you can go all the way to here to create the shard catalog. Again, you can review these commands later. So it just sets all the required parameters, enables archiving, and restarts the database. So that's what the steps are. We have not yet created we are just preparing the shard catalog database. All right. Then we are going to do the same thing on the shard one. So just to configure all the steps. Okay, so let it finish. So that is done. Do the same thing. So that shard PDB is also up. Just take this and run the same steps. Similar to what we ran on the catalog database. Essentially, we are just enabling archiving, setting the database parameters like DB, recovery file destination, all right, and the size. So, and we are enabling force logging. So after that, we are going to do the same thing for on the VM2 shard. Make sure. Okay, so that is done. Now we are going to do for shard 2. Okay, that's also up. So what to do is run this commands. And then we are going to do for the shard 3. So we just make it ready. Just make sure to copy the commands within this colored boxes, right? Because that's very important. So when you don't put exit, that means you are still in that session as OPC user. So that's what that one is. So we'll do shard 3 and okay. So this is the last shard database. So that's also up and running. So let's again prepare that. I could have run it in separate windows, but let's do that. Yeah, all these shards are independent. So I could have ran the scripts in 3 separate windows in parallel. That would have saved some time, actually. So then what we are going to do is we are going to log into the catalog host, and then we are going to create, then we are going to create catalog, shard catalog. Okay, see this is the command. So that's what we are going to do. All right. So let's here are all the commands. So we are creating the shard catalog, and we are adding 2 shards, shard 1 and shard 2, to this sharded database. And these are the commands for doing that. And then we are going to actually create a listener. All right. So see this one, add service. We are also going to create a service actually called OLTP read write service. The role is primary. And when you do listener status, by the way, we created a shard director also somewhere here. Yeah, here. See that? That's what we are doing here. So all those things are going to be done, but for now we are just going to copy these commands. We are doing that on the shard 3. Okay, so now we are just going to copy these commands and execute on the catalog database. See that? The first command is connecting to the catalog host. Okay, so that's complete. So let me place that. So shard catalog is created, GSM is configured. So all right. Now we are doing the deploy phase. So that is this command that we're executing. So from the catalog, we are talking to the other databases. So now you can see these are the shards, right? So for example, config shard is going to output this one. Both the shards are configured, the status is deployed, everything is online. So everything is good, all right? Then this is the listener status. That's output for the listener status. Then we are going to create a non-sharded, we are going to create a PDB, right? So we are going to connect to the shard 3, and in that container database, we are going to create a a pluggable database. All right, so let's create that. All right, so those are the commands for that. So go here. So we are going to the shard 3, and then we are creating a pluggable database. See this one, create pluggable database, all that. So we are creating a pluggable database called NSPDB. All right, and after that, we are going to deploy a schema. Then we are going to populate it. So that's the next step. So let's do that. So pluggable database is created. This takes about a minute or so. So again, if you like to fast forward, please feel free to do that. I could have possibly paused the video, but it takes only about a minute or so. So it should be, it's only about 3 or 4 gigabyte database. It's small, so it should be pretty quick. So pluggable database is created, and we are going to open it, and then we are going to save the status. So next time when you restart the container database, this PDB is going to open in read-write mode. That's the idea. So that's the purpose of this command. Okay, see that it's completed. Now we are going to run this one, and we are also going to create a service within that pluggable database. All right. So that's you can look at all the commands. And then what we are doing is actually we are downloading a non-sharded app schema. That's what we are doing. And then we are actually running that SQL script against this pluggable database. All right. So that's what I'm doing. So you can look at that. See, all the functions are created, tables are created. So that's the final output. So these are the tables that are created very quickly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to the catalog database. All right. I'm going to go to the catalog database, and I'm going to download the actual application. Actually, this application is going to populate data in that non-sharded schema. All right. So that's what we are going to do. So go here. All right. So that is done. So it created actually downloaded a zip file, unzipped that file, and it went to, so it created a non-sharded demo app extension. So these are some of the additional SQL it has executed. So you can see, if you want to see the code, actually, you can look at that. So it created a bunch of users and so on. Okay, but you can look at that. Then the next thing that you do is actually, this is the application that will be running to populate that schema. Okay, so you are still on the catalog database host. So we are going to copy this again. Here. So what it does is actually it starts populating the schema. All right. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, and then in the 2-3 minutes, it's going to populate a few thousand rows. So you can see read-only queries, read-write. So this many writes are happening, reads and writes are happening. And what is this? Read operations failed, write operations failed. Then APS, I'm not sure what exactly this one is, but so that's what the application is doing. It's populating the actual schema. So now what we'll do is we'll do a control C. All right, we'll do a control C, and that completes. Then we'll exit from here. All right, and then what we are going to do is we are going to export the schema. All right, so we are going to connect to shard3 database. Actually, I have to exit from here. So I go to shard3 database, and I'm going to export it from there. See that? So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to probably take another 1 or 2 minutes. Just export the data. We could have simply exported only the tables data, but anyway, so it's exporting everything. So that's why it is taking a little more time. And after that, what we're going to do is we are going to copy that dump file, right? It's exporting to, see this one, it's putting in the temporary directory. From there, we are copying that dump file to shard1 and shard2 hosts. So here, what I'm doing is actually I'm copying my private key. You can understand these commands to shard3. And from there, I'm copying the dump files to shard1. Actually, I'm copying to catalog host. I'm copying to shard1 and shard2. Why I'm copying to catalog host? Because there we are going to import into the catalog database, and the catalog database hosts the duplicated tables, whereas the shard1 and shard2 host the sharded tables. So that's the reason. So these are the commands you can read, you can look at them and understand. If you know a little bit of shell, you will understand Linux shell programming, you will understand this. So I'm just copying the private key, and using the private key, I'm copying the dump file to those catalog host and the other two sharded hosts. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. So let's copy this whole thing. Immediately, I don't want to keep the private key on this catalog host or the sharded host, sorry, shard3. So that's why at the end, I'm deleting that. You can see so very quickly. So that's what I'm going to do. Is this. So you can see it's copying, what is that, 49 megabytes file to those. So it's completed within no time. So that's done. Then what we're going to do is we are going to go to the catalog and change the permissions for those files. We're just going to change the permissions, make Oracle as the owner. So let's do that. All right, then we're going to do the same thing for the shard1 and shard2. All right. Then, because we need to do that before we run the import command. Okay. So that is completed. Then now what you do is we are going to actually import this dump file into this one. Again, this checks whether your shard directory is up and running. Actually, you don't need to do that because we just started that. So, but anyway, let's run that. It's just checking if the GSM is, it says start actually. So you will get an error saying that it's already started. So which is fine. Then what we are going to do is we are going to create a sharded schema, right? After creating the sharded schema, we are going to import those dump files. So that's what we're going to do. So we copy this again. You see, I'm downloading sharded DB app schema SQL. That's what I'm doing here. And then we are running it against, we are running that script from the catalog host. That's very important, right? So we are running that on the catalog host. So let me copy this whole thing. From here, we go all the way to here. Yep. So we are going to one second. So we are going to create the sharded schema. Then after that, we are asking what what is the DDL that was executed for creating the sharded schema. We are connecting to shard 1 and looking at the rows or the table spaces actually that we created when we ran the previous step. Then here is the second one on sharded database 2. And then we are going to go to the catalog, and then we are checking all the tables, table names from the user tables. So that's what we are doing. All right, so let's do that. Here, let's run this all the way to here. All right. So it's see this one, GSM is already running. So now we are going to run all these commands as Oracle user. So that's the first command actually. So let's just paste it here. So it's going to download and it's created a sharded schema. So see that one? These are the sharded tables. Customers, line orders, and see these are the two shards. All right. So that's what happened here in this step. And then what we are going to do is now we are going to actually import, right? So we log into the catalog host and import. So let's run that. So now you will see that when you're importing, it's going to just import only the duplicated table, right? So that's what you see here, products, because products is the only table that resides in the catalog database. All the duplicated tables reside in the catalog database. All right. And if you make any changes to the catalog database, those tables, the changes will get replicated to the shard, to the duplicated tables on the shards. All right. So that is completed. How many rows imported? See, 480 rows are imported. All right. So that import is completed. Now we are going to import that. Right. We are still on the so what are we doing actually? We are just checking if those rows are already imported, right? I mean, are they available on the shards? So let's see whether, see, it's already replicated. So you can see these duplicated data is also available on the shard databases, right? All those tables are available there. Now we are going to import the customers, orders, and items table, line items table. All right, so that's what we are going to run. And when you run this, right? So see what we are doing is we are running against the sharded database 1, right? And we are importing customers, orders, and line items. And we are doing only data only. So now it's going to import only the rows that belong to the shard, right? Based on the sharding hash key, all right? So you see, it says 6,094 rows out of 12,000 rows are imported into this table on shard 1. Similarly, 9,000 rows out of 18,000 rows imported into orders table. All this happened on the shard 1, all right? So we are going to do the same thing on shard 2, right? See this one. So we are running the import against the shard 2 database. So all the rows that belong to shard 2 will be imported into this database, shard 2 database. So we will see how many rows are imported. See that one? 62,000, 6,266 rows out of 12,360 rows are imported. In the previous shard, you see 6,094 and this is 6,200. So when you add both, you will get 12,360 rows. Similarly, if you add this 9,192 to 9,072, you will get total of 18,000 rows. So that's how the data got distributed. Similarly, for the line items, 16,063 rows got imported here, whereas here 16,259. So when you add this and this, you will get this many rows. All right. So that's what we did. So the next thing what we're going to do is we are going to actually run that application, all right, which will go against all these shards. So take this, we are going to run it on the same catalog host. Right, so let me run this. Actually, we already checked the GSM is up and running. So we can just do this. Go here and run the extensions. All right. So it creates a bunch of users and so on. Okay, this is not right. So I need to copy the whole thing actually, because you see this one, it says sudo as Oracle. So that's what I need to do. Okay. So where's this? Yeah, I mean, it's going to come back saying that the shard directory is already running. Why I included this command is because if the VMs were shut down for any reason, when you start up, you need to start the shard director. So that was the reason. Shard director does not start automatically. So that was the reason why I included that command. All right. So it's going to come back and say that, it just started. I think that's what it said. See this one, GSM is already running. So then it ran the other part of the script, okay? So that's completed. Then we go here. Then what we are going to do is we are going to run the actual application now, which is going to populate the data across these two shards. So let's run that. So now it's going to put more data into those shards. Now, while that is going on, actually, we can do the monitoring. So open another window. All right. So let's open another window. So let's open another window here and copy this. So this is for the monitoring. All right. This is for the monitoring. I believe these errors are okay. These are expected, so we don't need to be concerned about that, but that's also listed on the Live Labs page. So now we need to look at actually the graphical view. So I can copy this link, copy this, then go to the browser here, maybe another tab. So here it shows you the actual throughput, right? There are shard 1 and shard 2. And so this is the throughput it's showing you, right? It is, what is it? Pretty much almost same throughput from each shard. So this black one is shard 2. This green one is, yeah. And here it tells you the actual, see this one, shard 1, ID, and what is the total sum. So it keeps refreshing actually. It is running some queries. And that's what you see here. Last inserted rows. Actually, now it says last inserted rows. So these are the IDs. See this 25,122. So 26,000, so 1,000 rows. So that's how it is actually refreshing. So that's what is going on when we are running this job, right? This is populating and it's going against both the shards. You can see shard 1 and shard 2, you can see here. All right. And so I can cancel this. Now what we would do is we would we will extend the shard to the third one, right? So that's what we'll do. So let's go back to my spreadsheet here. And then so we can run a bunch of queries here. Actually, while that's going on, we can run a bunch of these queries. So let me do that. So for example, Windows opens up. I can create another window actually. While that is running on, we can open another window actually. So let's do that. So I can go to catalog host and I can run that. So now I logged in as Oracle, that's sudo.oracle, right? This command, this one. Then I can run these commands, SQL plus commands. And you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm basically doing a query from that database. You can run addition. Now, here you are connecting to the database, right? And you're passing the shard key, right? When you pass the shard key, what you're doing is actually you know which shard you want to go to. So that's what this demo is all about. So here, again, we are passing the shard key and we are doing a select. So let's see to which database it's going to. So here. So what is the first command? So it's going to shard 2. See that? Because we are passing the shard key that belongs to shard 2. And similarly, we can also run. This is going through this is called the proxy routing. So we are connecting to the catalog database and we are running a query. So then what it is going to do is it's going to run this query against all the shard databases. So let me fix that. So that's what it's doing. Actually, it's going to individual shards and getting the data set, all right? And it's connected to the shard catalog database. It's called proxy routing. So you can do multi-sharded queries. So you see, connect to the shard database, catalog database, and run these queries. All right, and it gives you the execution plan also. So looking at that, you can figure out that these queries are going against different shards. All right, so that one is done. Then this is the next one. This does the aggregations. So we can do that also. But what we'll do is now we'll move forward. We'll do elastic scaling now. So go to this, and what are we doing here? We are connecting to the GDS CTL, the Global Data Services Control Program, and we are adding a new shard. See that? That's what we are doing. So let's do that. So here. Let's see what happens. So we are still on the catalog host, and we are logged in as Oracle. So let's paste that. So now, see, now we added the shard 3, and we are deploying. See that? So, see, that's the command. After adding the third shard, we are deploying, and then it's going to make it available for the workload. Okay. So now you can see all the shards are available now. All the shards are available. Well, it's a status is scheduled. It may take a few more seconds to complete that. Now, if you want to have this one, let's see that. Then run GDTL. Okay, then we say. So it's moving this services. Okay, now you can see everything is deployed. It automatically balances out, right? So that's what I wanted to show you. Now the application is already running, all right? Now if you go to the monitor, see that? Now, see that? There is a shard 3 now. I didn't do anything. It's all automatic now. So I was able to add the third shard without stopping the workload. So that's what we wanted to demonstrate here. So from here onward, there will be workload on all the 3 shards. So you'll see shard 1 and shard 2. And very soon it will be adding the workload on shard 3 also. See that one? There is already shard 3 workload. So that's what this demo is all about. Hope you liked it. And again, I'm going to post all these scripts and also the PowerPoint presentation along with my sharding overview. All right. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I will provide my contact email ID. Thank you and have a good day.